Another beautiful day in my Minecraft world. I don't get to play on this world as often as I'd like to, but I always enjoy it whenever I can. It's not too often I get to go on an adventure, and I'm kind of looking for it. Let's see what we can do today. So, last time I was here, we built this tower and made a lot of cool stuff, and that was awesome. There's a lot of stuff I'd love to do, but it's not easy getting a lot of stuff to happen. And stories are fun to tell, and it's fun to learn. Let's see. Just going over here. Oh yeah, off camera I moved my tree farm, and just had some fun. Oh wait, that's new. What's in here? To those who find it, deep underground, there is a secret. It has a magical power. Only those pure of heart can truly find it and its purpose. Are you the one for it? Deep underground. There's only one place very deep that I know of. We could try it, but I haven't been there in a long time because it has something that I don't really like to see. So we're gonna need this. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I have everything I need. Actually, it's gonna be quite dangerous. Let's play this safe. Let's get rid of most of my stuff. Yeah, that should work. So, deep underground, that would probably mean the mine, right? Well, we built this mine a long time ago. And it would be here. The deepest way is actually right here by our skeleton farm. And if you come down here, we have the mine. Now, that place that I think there's a secret, it's most likely through here. This hole has something that I really don't like to see. But there's only one way to find out. Whoa. That's not what I expected to happen. Well, I guess it's time to do some exploring, figure out where I am and what to do. So let's break this curtain down a little bit. This is LavaCraft. It's a content creator SMP server that I was invited to. This is towards the tail end of season 3, so I'm probably not going to make that many episodes or videos, but I'm going to be around for community events and spend some time with the community. So that's awesome. I've actually been playing on the server for a couple of weeks now. I wasn't originally planning on making a video, but here we are. So if I look at my inventory, I actually have a decent amount of gear. So here's the basement of my house. I have a little storage room over here where I just keep a couple of my things. Then up here is my house. A little workshop area, some decorations, a little place to do some cooking. Have a little office here. And up here is where I store my armor. So when I'm home, I don't necessarily need all this armor on. So we'll put that in there. Then up here, I have a little library and my bed. Yeah, it's not much, but it's a place to call home. Just coming out here, I'm in this jungle over here. Little farms, couple sugarcane things. Little sheep farm over here, and then I've just been mining over in this area. But nothing crazy, just a little place to mess around and have a place to keep some items before I do anything too crazy. While we're here, let's write down a couple of our goals for this server. Let's say we terraform our base. So we get this looking nice and pretty. For a world download, we could transform the shopping district. We could build a mob farm. I know a good place to do that. Do a little prank on someone. That could be funny. Okay, so here's some goals we could do. We could terraform the base, transform the shopping district, build a mob farm, throw a party, and prank someone. Since we don't have a lot of time, I need to do some things that are relatively small with the limited resources that I have and will have throughout this season. So, for one, we can definitely terraform the base. This is absolutely possible. This one we'll probably do as a community event. This one I can definitely do for an episode. And this one can definitely be done for an episode. So let's aim for about 5 episodes this season throughout the next 2 months. So, for terraforming the base, we can't do anything too complex, but we can do some basic stuff. So first off, I have this little farm here. It's no good anymore. It's got to go. Alright, so I've gone and cleared up all the grass here, cut down a few trees, and just kind of gotten everything nice and clean to do some really good terraforming. Over here, since we have a bit of a pit, I think it would be nice to have like a little water pool, or like a little pond or something. That would be cool. And then we could have some farms back here. I have a little sheep farm here. Maybe we do some crops over here, sugarcane by the lake, or we could do it over here. I don't know yet. We'll do something like that. And as a nice bonus, we can build a little entrance to our mine shaft, which is right here. So I made a little crop farm and added this little pool here. It's not decorated at all. Looking down there, it's just stone underneath and dirt, but it'll be okay for now. I put little crop farm down so we can have some crops, and sheep farm's still there. Now that I'm really looking at this house, I'm not too happy with the granite over here. I think it would be nice to be a little bit of a different color. I was looking at some different architecture designs, and I really think that this kind of matches a lot of Spanish architecture. So kind of replacing this with like some sort of white would be very nice. Let's take a look at bone blocks. That definitely sticks out a little more, but I think that's going to be beneficial. We can add some other decorations around the windows, which I think will make it a little better. Maybe we can do something like this. So just having some little trapdoors to kind of break things up, and that might look a lot nicer. Of course, if we're going to use this many bone blocks, we're going to have to move on to one of our other goals. So this one will be more important. Here we are in our mine, and I found this skeleton spawner a long time ago, and I'd like to turn it into a bit of a mob farm. So in order to do that, I came down here and I created this, which has this block here. Now, that's nice and all to have, but it doesn't do everything we need. So we're gonna need to get a couple things here and have this go way up. We can put one right here and one right here. And temporarily we could put a few blocks down. And we'll go up. This should have us get pushed right here. Awesome. So now we got to get out of here. In here, we have kelp. This kelp will make some source blocks. Perfect. Now these are all source blocks, so we break that. This should try to connect, but it's not where we want it. So instead, we place soul sand. So this should push the skeletons this way. And I'm not happy about that, so let's break you. Go down there. Place that. Just have it go down an extra block. And where's our wall? Well, it's a little higher. We'll do that. So that should keep pushing. There we go. That goes there. So this should push right up. that temporarily. Let this go and flow. This will push the skeletons until they're here. It'll keep pushing. And then they go right in here. Perfect. So now we can break these. We will break the source and place some soul sand. So that should push them right up, and then they get pushed into the soul water stream. Perfect. So after they get to the water stream, they should land right about there. If we punch these skeletons down here, they're a one-hit kill, which is exactly what we're looking for to get bones and all of our materials. Now we need some iron for this, so I'm gonna go shopping. This is Shad's mega shop that basically has everything in the world. So if I get a few items, let's look for some iron. Ha, iron. 2 diamonds for 64. Oh boy. So I'm gonna get 5 stacks of this. That's 10 diamonds. And if we put it in the chest, we've bought that. So we'll put this in here and put that away and head back to our base. Now we're gonna need quite a few hoppers, so let's do some tree farming. If we get some bone meal, we can grow trees and chop them down. Now our hopper's been put in place and we have a little tiny storage for our skeleton farm. So we can use it to get all the bones we need. Now that we've finished our skeleton farm and slowly got some work done on our base, I think it's time to take a little break and cause a little chaos. Now, someone is online, and I think it's time to go give them a visit. This place is quite the marvel looking at it. Someone clearly has a lot of time on their plate. So if we go up the staircase, we gotta be quiet and sneak around. Not in the storage room. Go up here. Maybe up in one of the towers. Not in there. Not up here. Maybe on the other side. Nope, not in here. Maybe he's not home. Could be shopping. I think we should hide until lava gets here. Stake it out. Oh, I should probably wear a disguise so he doesn't recognize it's me. That could work. Now crikey, how's it going here? He's swimming in lava. Oh boy. This is why basalt deltas are a nightmare. This looks like something he's working on. I found him. Hello, mate. How's it going?
Hello? Ah,
Crikey,
can you
what
hear
a
me?
good day it is.
Sorry, I had YouTube on, and I'm like, why are people talking weird in YouTube? Not on YouTube at all.
Coming back to the base, I've finished taking some time at the mob grinder and finished up these walls. I went for the trapdoors as well, just to get it looking a little nicer, and I'm very happy with that. So that means that the building itself is done, but it needs a little bit of terraforming. I'd like to have a little path that kind of comes out here, kind of makes its way around, maybe goes there, goes over to the farm, and that would be kind of a nice thing to do. So let's kind of do something little like that, maybe kind of give it a goal of coming over here. We can do something nice with that later. And then maybe have it come around here. First going into the farm area, and then also splitting off and going over to our sheep pen. There we go, something like that. That would be nice. And another thing I was looking at is maybe doing some strips of moss. So if we go like this would be moss here. This side is moss to make it look like it's kept. At least for the front lawn. Same here. Ooh, there's a creeper. That's not good. And we'll do that. So then we can kind of just like fill this in with little moss, just to give it a little bit of an extra texture. There we go. Something like that. And in our base, I'm pretty sure we have some carpets. So what we can do is coming out here, find some spots that may need some lighting, break that, there's a torch, carpet on top. Maybe we go over here, do the same. Same thing right here. And that could just help light this area up without making it look as bad. So I'm going to break everything immediately surrounding the base. It looks like it's already getting close to night, so this will make it easier. Now, the only downside of this is we're going to have to fight some mobs. But it's a necessary evil. So say we go right here, put a torch down, a carpet, light that up. We do another right here. Finally, I'd like to do a little bit of rock work and shrub work. So I have this right here, which can let me get a few cobblestone slabs, cobblestone stairs, maybe a couple of walls, and some blocks themselves. So if we kind of go into these areas, put a couple blocks, maybe like that, get a stair, slab, maybe a wall. We can have these little rock formations around. And then on top of that, I have these azalea leaves. And I'd like to just dot them around in little spots. Something little like that could work. And maybe we have some little buttons or something lying around. And just kind of add on to this, add little details as we go. Putting a little bit of grass and ferns down kind of just makes it pop a little more. I don't want a ton of trees here, but some little stuff can be good. And maybe I'll do a couple custom ones, but who knows? That looks good. With that, we can mark a few of our things done. We can mark terraforming our base and the mob farm completely done. Now we have a couple more goals to do, but I think that's all the time I have for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like. If you loved it, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bad things have happened. I didn't think that would actually do it. Bad things have indeed happened. So, what is this bad thing that happened? Well, it involves one of these. I may have accidentally summoned a wither. Oh, he's right here. No! Ow. Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, he's on me. He's on me. He's on me.
Good.
Not good. I can't shoot him if he's on me.
I can't see anything. I'm probably gonna die. Ow.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. The first totem.
I see him.
Yep, he's following me. One. And another.
So I got on the server and was messing about, and I accidentally summoned a wither. How? That's a good question, you may ask. But the whole thing has just been insane. So after the wither was summoned, in Afton's base, by the way, we tried to fight it and we couldn't do it. We had to call in backup. So here comes backup.
This is just so unlucky.
This is very unlucky. There's taking damage. Not as much as the wither.
There he is.
Half. There's melee. Uh-oh.
Surge is making this look easy.
Surge is making this look very easy. Although
Hey.
Surge is taking some health. Oh, it's dead.
Well.
Surge saved us. Our hero and savior Surge then comes and gives us some materials to help us get back on track. The trick is, when you screw things up, you gotta fix it better.
Why is the Dennis song from the Minecraft movie playing? No.
One thing. Yeah, my base is so far away that we may even just find stuff.
I'm just gonna start right here. Oh!
You sure about that?
So we're gonna start going right here.
You know,
Oh.
the diamonds, they were right here the whole time.
So maybe we're not starting here.
It's right here, isn't it? No.
No, it's actually right here. I'm gonna go until I hit one.
It's been so long since I've seen that, and it still cracks me up after all these years.
Okay, now there's none over here. Wow, we are really unlucky.
Yep.
What a shame.
That's a hole.
Right here. How did I get hit by that explosion? What?
Minecraft
I'm not
never
even
has logic.
here.
Does it only spawn in certain biomes?
No, it should spawn everywhere. It's actually right behind this gravel. I hit it back here on purpose.
Of course you did. But I moved it, and it's actually over here.
I actually don't think there's any. Are we out of bed?
No. I'm
No,
just losing
it's
my mind.
actually right over here. Oh, there's gold. That is ice. How did that? What? Oh! Agent, get up. I think there's a bit of lava in there.
Don't dig anything. I somehow did not die from that.
I completely disobeyed what you told me and mined something.
Oh no. How did I not die from that? I definitely torch spammed. I will say that. Cinnabons! We found them. After our journey into the Nether to get a bunch of ancient debris, we finally took a break and went for some wither skeleton skulls.
Oh!
Hello.
There you go. Oh, there's two right there. Or three right there for it. Skull,
Three.
Skull.
Skulls. If
That
only.
would be insane luck.
Skull?
Oh my god!
Only one though.
Holy shit, that's lucky though. You just got one.
We got one.
Let him cross the bridge first.
No skull.
There's another one right there.
Imagine if I did get all three right there.
That would have been insane luck. Now we do this. Kindly fuck.
Skull.
Oh my god! This is insane luck.
That luck was insane. So I did a little bit of mining off camera to get some resources back. And with these resources, we have fully geared up and are ready to get back into things. And that leads us to now. So my plans for this video have completely been derailed. So we're gonna do some things that are a little simpler and just clean things up. Last time we did a little bit of terraforming over here and I'm pretty happy with it, but I think it needs a couple more things. I'd like to put a couple custom trees, maybe one over there and a couple over in this area, just to make things look nice. So cue the time lapse. And with that done, I think it's time for a little bit of redemption. We fought the Wither at the beginning of this, and it did not go well, and it was completely unintentional. And since we did a little work today, I think it's time we really do it, and we prepare and do it the right way. Now, I'm not very good at this game, and I've known that for a long time, so we're gonna fight this in a much simpler way. We're gonna go to the end. Here we are in the Nether Hub. And if we go this way, there should be someone's base right here. Yes. This is Chad and Surge's forward base camp that they've been working on. And there's a little hidden way to get to the end from here. If we go through this portal, we'll end up at their base camp. And if we fly off into the distance, there is this portal right here. This should take us back into the Nether. But instead of being in the Nether Hub, we're on the roof. So following these torches, we have this portal over here. And that should just take us to the stronghold. So to get this fight going, I'm going to get my ender chest out. And we'll make our way over to the main part of the end island. And get ready to spawn the big guy. Now, this is our end portal. I have it set up to where we have obsidian here. We'll spawn the wither and it'll get stuck right here. Hopefully this will be okay, and hopefully we don't have a big mess. So if I go into my wallet, I have these, which is everything we'll need. Now to play this safe, I'm going to get my tools chest. We'll throw my wallet back in here. And we're only going to take out what we need. Let's move this ender chest out of the way. Hopefully it won't cause a fuss over here. And we'll get that. We'll put our torches away. Put our fireworks away. Put this away. Put our elytra away. And I don't have a place for the shulker box. Shoot. This one I'm not worried about as much. We'll get our netherite axe put away. So we'll just hold on to the bare minimum. Come down. Put our tools away. And we gotta get ready. Alright, it's now time to summon the big guy. Let's step back. There we go. And we got another star. This is a lot easier to do. With that out of the way, I'd say we'd pretty much redeemed ourselves. We got our nether star, we kind of rebuilt everything, and everything's back in order to where it was. We definitely owe Afton some sort of gift though, and that will have to come for the next episode. But in the meantime, I think that's all the time we have for this episode. If you liked this video, then make sure to give it a like. If you loved it, then make sure to give it a subscribe. All right, I'll see ya. Bye. Well, that was a bit of a grind. Welcome back to another episode on the LavaCraft SMP server. So we got a lot done. If you look over here, we have this whole island, which was previously a bunch of mycelium. It's now been converted to grass. So our shopping district is now rid of all that terrible grass, which is a good thing. So that was the beginning of this episode. But today, I've got some goals. I really want to get a beacon. Last time we fought the Wither, so we're gonna work towards getting that beacon. Unfortunately, it requires a lot of materials, particularly some sort of metal or rare object that I don't have. So we're gonna build an iron farm. Here we are at my base, and off camera, I've gone and kind of just removed this whole area here. It should give us a nice flat area to build a couple farms or utility things that we need. I also got a couple villagers in this area to use for our farm. Now, in order to do this, I'm following a tutorial I found on YouTube. I'll link the one I used in the description. We've got this little hole here, getting ready to go, and now we just gotta dig down. Alright, the death chamber down here is deathing, so that's good. Although we do have a little issue here, but that should be okay. Alright, so I pretty much went and built up most of the farm. It's got everything ready for our villagers and everything set to go. So now we gotta get our villagers. Luckily, I've already gone ahead and gotten them. They're just down here where I've been breeding them up to make things easier. So in order to do this, let's get a workstation and hope one comes out for it. Thank you. You will be our first test subject. There we go. Now, what I'll do say something like that. And see what happens. Let's open our hitboxes and... Alright, so we have our first set of villagers set up and it's spawning iron golems. Everything seems to be working at partial efficiency. We're not going to get the full speed of this because we don't have enough villagers. So I'm going to AFK over here. We're going to let some villagers grow up and we're going to let the farm run, which means that eventually we'll get enough iron to do what we need to do. So I AFK'd for quite a while and the farm is almost done. If we look down here, we have 3 villagers and all of these with zombies, except for this panel which has 2 villagers and an empty boat. So what do we need to do? Well, for one, we have a zombie right here, ready to go, and we just need to get our last villager. So I've been breeding up the villagers, and coming down to our little hole, we have our last villager and a couple to spare. So let's place down a composter and press this button a few times until a villager comes out. Okay, we come out, press the composter, and we spam the button a few times. There we go. We break the composter. Walk it to about here. Wait for the villager. Villager takes the job. Walk a little further, place the composter, and wait for the villager to follow. There we go. Villager takes the job. And we'll do one more over here. And I'll get a boat in the other hand. There we go. For the last one, we'll place it right in front and place the villager. There we go. So then, what I've been doing is going right here, just kind of nudging myself in the corner, getting an axe, breaking it, and there goes the villagers. Now that this is done, I have this little temporary wall here that can go down. We'll place some dirt over this so the villagers are safe, and we'll get that into its right shape. Now all we have to do is wait for that to set. And then we'll be able to let our zombie in. To prepare for this, we can open up these trapdoors and place a little wall. Alright, it is now nighttime, so let's get this zombie out. Ow. I do have thorns, so I don't want them to hit me too much. Let's come right here. Perfect. Pick that up and wait. Looks like everything's in place, so our farm should be complete. Awesome. Our iron golem farm is totally working now, and that's great. So we have iron golems who spawn. They go in here, and they go right down into the lava, and we get their items, which is great. Just what we needed. So that's gonna get us very close to our next goal. So I went and grabbed the iron that was in here, and this should be enough to make what we're planning on making. For this little project and a couple future ones, we're gonna need some sand. So let's start digging. There we go, that should do. We need some obsidian. So let's go to the end. Into the wonky portal. So these towers have tons of obsidian, more than anyone really needs, and if we ever need more, we just respawn the Ender Dragon. So I have no problem just taking some from these towers. And while we're in the end, I'd like to heal up some of my tools. So let's head to the Ender. This farm is a little sketchy, but it does work. There we go. And now we head back to the overworld. And let's sleep. Awesome. Now we can head down here, and hopefully we have enough glass. Yes, we do. And we're missing one last thing. Since we fought the Wither last time as a redemption, we need to do something with this nether star. So, beacon. We now have one. Okay, so with this beacon, we can fully build it. Now let's see, where would we like to do this? How about just to show it off, we'll do it right over here. Oh yeah. And now, let's give ourselves something that we can mess with. Sure, how about speed and regeneration? That feels nice. That feels very nice. And you might ask, why would I go for a beacon so quickly? Well, to be honest, this season is very limited for me. I joined very, very late into the game, and we only have about a month left of this season. So I wanted to get all of the basics done as quickly as possible, which means I'm using a lot of diamonds and other materials. So I want to get them as quickly as possible so I can get my goals met. That's also why we made our goals over here relatively simple for this season. And looking back at some of these goals, this one needs a little bit more work, but it definitely is possible. This one, we can definitely say, is done, if I can type. And in terms of the other stuff, we're gonna have to figure out something. But the beacon will make this a lot faster. On this island, over here at 0, 0. And that's nice and all, and that means that when everyone started, they built their starter bases around this island. And I didn't really get a chance to do that. I'm very far away. So I would like to have a build somewhere near here. I was chatting with a few members of the server, and they have their bases over here. This is Dyson, this is someone else, and this is Lava's starter base. Now, I would like to build on one of these islands and have a little area for myself. I would like to use this island, perhaps, but I need to talk to Dyson to see if it's okay to use that. But I also have the ability to use this island, from what I've been told. So it would be nice to kind of decorate this in the way that I want to and style it as I need. So in order to do that, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to come in. And that will be our focus for parts of the next few episodes. So we'll do a little work here and there on this project, and we'll come in and out of it and do things as we please. In order to reach this long-term goal of having this nice decorated island, I'd like to start off by disassembling some of what's here and getting it to a workable starting state. So, cue the time lapse. And with that, that is all the time we have left for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like. If you loved it, be sure to give it a subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye. Welcome back to another episode here on LavaCraft. As you saw at the beginning, we got a little bit of progress done on our big project at Spawn. And that's great, but that will not be the focus for this episode. Today, I want to finish off this base and get everything ready for the end of the season. I have about a week and a half left to record before I have to go away for some travels, and then the season ends. So I really need to knock this out. So let's get started. Last time we built an iron farm over in this part of the base, and it looks great, but it needs a tiny bit of work. You see, it's not very well decorated, and I'd like to just get that there, top off this area, and call it done. So with that, let's get towards that. This beacon here I used to AFK, and it's nice and all to look at, but it's not exactly the prettiest, so I kind of want to hide it. I have water streams going into my iron farm storage, so I'd like to have a little building around it. So let's come up with something quick and dirty. I don't want anything too fancy, just something that works. So say we do something like this. Go 3. This can be a square. I'm not worried about it looking too good. There we go. Go. Restrip it. There we go. Try something like planks. There we go. What am I using for floor in here? Dark oak. So we'll do the same in here. That's going to flood a little bit. And then we're using mangrove on top. We'll go for these slabs that I happen to have extras of. Hopefully this doesn't affect our farm's rates too much. Are we just going up by 1? Yep. There, something like that. Let's place a torch. And these spots, it looks a little off now. So, break that and place stone. That should work. And then, do I have an extra door? I do. So we'll do that. There we go. We also had a brown panda who died here at one point due to the effects of some of the other members' antics, so I'm gonna formalize this over here. Here lies Lava's favorite brown panda, sadly exploded. Now we have this path system going around our base, so I'd like to connect it over this way a little bit. That should work. Little path. In the front over here, we have lines of moss, whereas in the back, it's not necessarily necessary. Because this area is kind of a working area, an area that people don't really care as much to upkeep. They kind of just have it here. So I think just having little patches of moss would make a lot more sense in this area. At least for a thematic story. Now that this area is kind of patched up and cleared, we can start to place some leaves and other stuff just to make things pop a little bit. I would say this definitely makes it pop. Just a little bit of grass work and a little bit of building just to give this area a little bit of a finishing touch. Now with that out of the way, our base is almost completed. I have one little thing I need to do, and that's to decorate the mine, but I'm gonna save that for the finale to call this base officially done. So that'll be in the next episode. So what do we have left for this episode? Well, there's a couple things I have in mind depending on time. One of them is certain. We have a very dangerous way of getting here, and that's through the nether. And there's a few nether tunnels in the nether hub that need a little work. So I offered to help some of the server members finish that up. So if we look at our nether tunnels here, this is the center at 0, 0. So we have different roads that'll take you in different directions. All of these are pretty much built, except for the south one. So we're gonna build this south road going about 100 blocks, and then that will be the end of it. We will have to move Rogue's portal if we can, so I'll have to talk to Rogue to see about where that can move, or see if I can link it up somewhat. And then everything else should be relatively good. While we get everything ready, this is the portal to Rogue's base. So I'm at Rogue's base right now. And if I go through the portal, it'll take me here. Now I did a little math, and the portal actually belongs over here. And I'm going to move this for Rogue so it's out of the way of the actual nether hub. So if I temporarily disable this portal, and I go through here, it should take me to Rogue's base, right in the middle. This should sync. Perfect. Oh, hello. How are you doing? Hello.
Oh,
Fancy seeing you here.
Voice mod.
So I'm working on the south tunnel right now. Currently making a video. I'm recording, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So I'm about to get a bunch of soul soil.
Soil or sand, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. I have a little bit. I have a couple stacks you can have.
Okay. Also, do you mind if I steal one of your nether stars for the tunnel?
Yeah. At my base. Let's go to my base.
Okay. I got a little bored waiting for my stuff, so I'm at Shad and Surge's Fort Base Camp. So I'm just gonna get some stuff here. This will make it a little easier. Right, so I went and started on this, and we have a little part of the tunnel here, and it's just slowly expanding until we get there. I'm at this point just trying to get the bare minimum in. So our basic necessities to get everything going. And thanks to the help from Lava and Afton, we got the whole thing done. The tunnel is ready to go. Now I've been hearing some rumors that some of the local crowds are not that happy with the way that the Church of Lavathor has been handling things. So I think in the next episode, we're going to check that out. But that is all the time I have for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like. If you loved it, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye. There are infinite possibilities in this world. We have built bases, made friends, and explored. There's only one limit: time. With our limited time, we got a lot done. We only have a few more goals to accomplish. Today will be that day. So I recently went and gathered a bunch of sand to work on this project. And we're gonna cover this entire island with it, and we're gonna terraform it like this and get it nice and decorated, put some trees on it, and maybe build a couple huts. So that is our overall goal, but we're a long ways away before we reach it, so we gotta get going. This whole transformation is gonna take a long time, so let's time lapse it. So here we are. I decided to scale this terraforming back a little bit because it was a little too much, just considering the amount of time I have left, and I want to make sure I have plenty of time to finish this project. So I've cut the island in half over here and cut this part off here, so we have 3 or 4 little islands we're going to terraform and kind of decorate. So that will be what we're doing for the rest of this. Now this is quite a big project, so we're going to have to jump between a couple different things that we need to do. For one, our base is not finished. Not at all. We have one last thing that we left to finish. So let's knock that out right now. This is the entrance to our mine shaft. It's pretty bare bones, and I'd like to finish this off, kind of get it going to look nice. So if we're going to do that, let's move this little nether wart farm. You can just move it over here. Doesn't need to be anywhere crazy. Put some soul sand down. And the rest of this go here. And here's where we're gonna have to do some digging. I'd like to expand this tunnel and make it a little wider, and maybe put a little rail track to get down. So if we're gonna do that, we gotta get digging. So I went and dug this tunnel down all the way to our skeleton farm, and I made a little top to this mine just to give it a little something. So this is just a little cave kind of entrance that I built, and from there I think we're gonna build a little front to it and call it a day. So let's get some wood out and figure out what may work in this situation. We have a lot of jungle, so let's go for jungle because we're also in a jungle. Maybe we do something like this, and on top of it we get some logs. Go somewhere like that to get it going sideways. And we can break those. That kind of works, but I think it would be better if it's stripped. And maybe if we had a couple slabs or something. Let's see, do we have any jungle planks? We do. And let me get out a crafting table. Maybe we can put a couple of slabs down like that, just to kind of break things up. Maybe one on top. Just to kind of give it a little extra shape. If we're going to do that, let's expand the stone a little bit. And I think that is good enough. So I just quickly went and put a little minecart track down, so if I come here and press the button, takes me down into the mine, specifically on the tunnel to the skeleton farm, just to make things easier. And then if I really needed to go to the main farm, to the main mine, I can just walk over here and continue down that way. And with a couple pieces of grass and ferns and some moss placed down, I would call this area of the base completely done. So let's come over to this and mark this as done. I'm also going to change one of our goals. Instead of throwing a party, we're going to do the beach area. And that's what our main goal is going to be, is these last two things. Coming back to our beach area, I'm starting to look at some ideas for what we could do over here. So maybe we could have a little palm tree, and some are going to be thicker than others. This one's one of the thicker ones. I'm going to build some thinner ones further up on the island. So let's get an idea for how that might look. I have some dirt on me. What I'm going to use are mud brick balls I'm gonna have a little bit of jungle wood, but what I really need are a lot of jungle fences. So let's convert these to planks, a couple more. Let's get a couple extra sticks and make some jungle fences. There we go. So coming over here, let's say we build a tree right over here. We'll start with a wall, and then fill up with some dirt. We go up with some fences until we're happy. And then we'll have a piece of jungle wood, and we'll start on some leaves. I don't have enough right here, so let's go back. Get a couple more. And we're gonna start on the leaf work. So first what I'll do is do something like this. And for the leaves we aren't using, we'll break them. And then we'll go here, we'll make a bit of a plus pattern. On top of that, we will go flat. And then we'll do something like this on top. This is a little design I learned from the Minecraft theme park community. There we go. Yeah, something like that. Something little. And ideally I'd like to up these walls a little more. Thicken them up. So let's get a few more walls. Maybe do 3 of those and 1 up top. So things up a tiny bit. There we go. Maybe 2 there instead. There we go, that can work. So little bits of those dotted around will definitely work for this island. Some other things you may see on a beach are like seashells. So if we take some of these buttons of varying types and just put them down, maybe a little bit of jungle too, those can kind of break things up a little bit and give an idea of something. And another thing we can consider is perhaps some coral. Now I did get a little bit of coral here, but these are alive. We don't want them to be alive. I'm thinking we can get some dead ones too. So we'll let these dry out on their own, and that can kind of give a little bit of an extra jump to this. Put this back in here. Maybe we get a couple of blocks too. Just as like little stone bits on the beach. The sand isn't always pure sand. Something like that maybe. Let that dry out. Just in single blocks. There we go. Interlaid with these, we could probably have a little bit of gravel. I'm gonna dig out a tiny bit from right here. This is not where I'm gonna get it from eventually. Just as a tiny little area to add a little bit of texture. So yeah, that could work. Something like that, definitely. Let's take a look at something like this from a distance. So yeah, coming over, seeing that with just more trees and stuff, that would look great. And definitely tie in this area a little bit with what's going on over there. And here we have our current area. So if we go into free cam, we have a couple trees that we built, and I ended up getting rid of some of the sand and putting in some coral and gravel just to kind of break things up. And to break things up a little more and add a little color, I put some leaves in the ground and also brought back tiny patches of grass with some tall grass on top of it, just to add an extra little detail and make it seem a little different. It still very much looks natural as if it was like a dune, but it's not popping, which is good. It kind of gives its own look. So I'm just kind of finding little areas That may need a little bit of touch. Bring the grass down. I'm just placing it. I'd like to have it kind of far back where it's not gonna bother anything, but it does definitely work in this area. So I went and placed down some stubs where the rest of the trees are gonna go. And that'll definitely work for this, but we are out of packed mud, so I need to get some wheat. All right, so I've gone ahead and continued to terraform this a bit. And looking at this, we now have about a third of the island completely terraformed. That's great. Now we've been working on this area for quite a bit, and I need a little break. So, as you can see, I've done about 2/3 of the island coming over in this area, and it's looking good, but I need to do something a little different. And if we look at our goals, one of our last goals is to prank someone. So, I think it's time to put our mischief hats on. Now to cause some mischief, I'd like to use some armor stands. So I just crafted a bunch of sticks, but we're gonna need some smooth stone. Now, to get smooth stone, I need stone. So let's look deep into our storage chests to see if we have anything. This could work. So let's go here and smelt it to make smooth stone. While we're waiting for this to smelt, we can get a couple other things for this. For one, I'd like to use armor on a few armor stands, which is what we're crafting. So let me go down here and get a bit of iron, and then we'll sink back up. And it'll probably be safer to craft it on location for what we're going to be doing. And to do this, let's go down here and get a shulker box. This is what we'll use to hold our materials for this. That there. Some iron in there. And I think once we get to a stack, we should be having enough. The rest I'll just keep for the future. Now we have a stack of smooth stone. So we'll put it in here to get some slabs. Which gives us 2 stacks. And we can start crafting armor stands. That should be a little bit to start. Let's see if we have any more wood that we can use. Because I'd like to just have a couple extras on hand in the future. There we go. Turn all of you into sticks. And we'll come back up here and craft more armor stands. Now that is most certainly enough. We'll do that. And let me get a little bit of more iron. There we go. And to top it all off, we will need a armor statues book. On top of that, I'd like to have a couple of extra things. Just like things for people to hold and complain about. So, let's see, where's the wood? Here's some wood. Do I have any more? Aha, there's a little more. Put this in here. Follow this. And that in there. And that should be relatively all we need. Now, it is time for some mischief. Now this monstrosity is Lavathor's temple. And the way that this temple has been treating a few creatures is quite abysmal. Look at all these mobs trapped in here with no room to live or have fun or enjoy things. Squid even. Even the poor dolphin has to be stuck in bubbles all the time. We have to do something about this. I say we rally a crowd of people and stage a protest. To do this, we're gonna need some armor stands. There we go. And they're gonna need some heads, so I'm gonna pull out all of the mob heads I have, which should be this. We're gonna put them on here. There we go. And we'll need to give them some armor and other things. From here, we're gonna have to do a few other things. So let's get our statues book and go to styles. We're gonna disable base plates. There we go. Now we need to change the arms. And to kind of add a little detail, we can make some signs. As if they're picketing. Down with the There we go. We could do something like that. That would be funny. Let's come here. This guy's a bit of a hippie, so styles. Disable gravity on this guy. Let's nudge this guy down one block. Perfect. And there we go. Now we're done. Now we can successfully mark this goal as done. Now we finished all but one of our goals this season so far. And with our limited time, we're gonna have to knock out this last one. And that is this terraforming project we've been working on throughout the episode. So this is going to be pretty much a lot of time lapses with a couple little things built in just to break things up. So let's get back to finishing that main island. All right, so I've gone and finished up this island. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of very little and weird items to get it going, but I've just about gotten this. It's nice and terraformed, and it's looking pretty good. The next one is going to be over here. Now for this island, I only plan on terraforming part of it. Just this half over here, and the rest will be an open beach. So let's get started on that. Cue the time lapse. And with that, I think we can mark this project as done. If we come over here and look, we have all of this island here that's done. We have this whole thing, and it looks really good. The main angle I wanted to see it from was either here, from Lava's base, or from over in this area at Dyson's base, which, coming from the ground, and especially when you're approaching it from spawn on the water, I think it works out. Definitely. So with that, I am very happy with how this came out. Now, before we finish everything off and call everything completely done, I have one little purchase I'd like to make just because I think I would like to go very fast with my Elijah. They have this right here, Soar 3. 64 diamonds each. Only one person has ever been silly enough to purchase this, and I am going to be the second. Let's see, 64 diamonds? Oh, it's a book. Oh well. Now, this season is going to end at the end of this month. But I am going on vacation, and very soon. So this episode is the last one. I am very happy with how this turned out, considering I joined very late into the season and still got a ton done. We terraformed this whole area. Whoops. As a community, we've gone through and done a lot of work in the shopping district. We've made a ton of things, a ton of progress. We've built our whole base, which is right here, which has a little storage room and a nice pretty little house and everything that we've put together over a period of time to create something awesome. Now, I'm very happy with how this turned out in the end, the amount of time we did, and I hope you are too. With that, looking at our goals, this one is officially done. And all of our goals for this season are now complete. This may not be the total end for me. I may stream a little bit at the time of recording, but this video will come out long after the season is over. So, just for a little bit of nostalgia, let's head up onto the house. With that, if you liked this video, be sure to give it a like. If you loved it, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching this season. I loved spending the time with you, and I can't wait to see you again. So, with that, let's head on a journey to the next season.